Yo, what is going on, my YouTube people? 2099 back here with another video, and in today's video we're going to be going through what may be the best transfer window in the history of football. I mean, wow, so many transfers have gone through in this window. A lot of them have failed as well. But before we get into any of that, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you guys are new. It would help me a lot, and it will help the channel a lot as well. If you guys want to join me on other social media platforms, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of those links will be down in the description for you guys to check out, and I will be more than happy to talk to you guys over there as well. All right, let's get started. So we have all heard by now the numerous big names that have joined numerous clubs in many different leagues, and we're going to be going through the best of them. We're obviously going to also talk about some of the rumors and some transfers that have not gone through because, it's summer and winter transfer windows. There's always going to be some deals that will unfortunately not make it, whether it's from the very start of the window to the very last second. I'm very excited to talk about this subject because I feel like people don't realize how big of a window this actually was. The easy winners of this transfer window is between two clubs, Bayern Munich and Chelsea. Some would say it's Chelsea. They've bought a lot of players, so that would be the quantity part, and Bayern, who have gotten a few signings, but we would say it's more quality than quantity. Now it's up to you whether you think quantity over quality or quality over quantity. And we're going to start with some of the big signings in the Premier League. So we're going to be going through some of the big signings, and we're going to start with obviously one that I feel like a lot of people aren't too fond about, and it's Anthony Gordon to Newcastle. Obviously he was linked with numerous clubs in the Prem, including Chelsea. He ended up going to Newcastle, which I think is not a bad deal. I think he's a little bit overpriced. I mean, he doesn't really justify that price. He is a young talent, I must say. Newcastle, a team that are doing very well right now, and they might have a chance to play in the Champions League if they keep this form up. It all depends on how they finish at the end of the season, obviously. But Anthony Gordon is a good addition to them, and I think he's a player that can add a lot of pace, a lot of flair to the team, and I'm presuming he's going to start every game now. If he manages to score and assist a lot for Newcastle, I feel like that will be a fantastic club for him to play with. There's obviously Cody Gakpo to Liverpool. That was one of the earlier ones. So far, hasn't been too great. A lot of people are already writing him off, which I don't think should be the case. A lot of people are making fun of him, calling him a flop and such. He's not a flop yet. I think people should wait. I mean, let the man play more than 10 games, more than a season, actually. Then we can maybe judge on how good of a player he really is. But so far, he hasn't been the best. We also got Marcel Sabitzer, one transfer that kind of hurts me as a Bayern fan. It's a loan to Manchester United. It does bother me because I had a lot of high hopes for him, and he's a fantastic player. It's the right move if he's not going to play at Bayern. I feel like United are going to like him. He's a very creative player, very smart player. So United are definitely going to benefit from Marcel Sabitzer. I feel like he's one of those players that a lot of people haven't seen too much. Obviously, he hasn't played that much for Bayern either. I feel like on his day, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. Yep, that's what I truly think. He's an amazing player, and he just needs game time, and hopefully United can give him that. So United fans, take care of Marcel Sabitzer for me, please. All right, let's move on to the next one. There's obviously that Wout Weghorst weird loan signing for United as well. He has scored, I believe, 1 or 2 goals. I think he scored 1 so far. It's one of those Igalo type signings where United always have to do. He's not terrible, but it's not a amazing deal in my opinion. Maybe he'll turn out to be like a Choupo-Moting for Bayern. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And then we've obviously now got the Chelsea transfers that I'm gonna be talking about. So we got one of the biggest, if not the biggest, alongside maybe Enzo Fernandez, Joao Felix, his loan to Chelsea, Diego Simeone, that is now leaving Atletico Madrid at the end of the season. I made a video about that. If you guys haven't watched it, make sure to do so, and which I explained how would Joao Felix play at Chelsea. Whatever you think of him, I think that in general it's a good deal. I think it's a little too expensive for my taste, but at this point Chelsea do not care if a player is 500 million. They're still gonna go for him if they really want him. An example of that is Enzo Fernandez. But for Joao Felix, he picked up a suspension. I mean, he got a red card in his first game, and that warranted him a 3-game suspension. But other than that, he looked very good in his first game, as discussed in a video that I did previously. So that's one transfer that is pretty much needed for Chelsea. They needed someone like Joao Felix in that team because the attack is just struggling for Chelsea, if we're being honest. I think if Joao Felix does well for Chelsea, they will probably end up signing him at the end of the season. I don't think he's keen on coming back to Atletico Madrid. I think he's sick of it, but again, we do not know the player, what he thinks and such. Then we've also got Benoit Badiashile, went from Ligue 1 to Chelsea. He's had a few decent games, and he's only 21 if I'm not mistaken, and he's pretty decent. He is pretty decent for Chelsea. I think he'll be one one hell of a player at the back for them. I don't really have much to say. I haven't watched Badiashile too much. I know who he is, but I haven't watched most of them. There's obviously that huge Mihailo Mudryk deal, which he was supposed to go to Arsenal, then Chelsea hijacked that deal at the last minute. And again, he played one game as a time of recording, and instantly he was just very good. He almost scored a goal. I think Chelsea have bought players that are just instant impact so far at teams, at least, and they've been fantastic. Speaking of Arsenal, there was also Leandro Trossard, who went from Brighton to Arsenal. Obviously, Brighton not really needing Trossard anymore, as they have a very on-form Kaoru Mitoma, who is just fantastic for them. Trossard may find football back and his form back at Arsenal. We're just going to have to wait and see. Trossard is an okay player. A lot of people think he's overrated. I wouldn't say he's overrated necessarily, but we've also got Jorginho, who went from Chelsea to Arsenal. A very weird and random transfer, to be honest, and I'm excited for that because Jorginho is a very, very smart player. I think he will do a lot of good for Arsenal. And listen, Arsenal are this close of winning a title, so it will do a lot of good for Jorginho and Leandro Trossard as well if they do end up winning it. So those two transfers for Arsenal, ones to watch. They did not get Mudryk, which is a player that I'm sure a lot of people wanted. If you're an Arsenal fan, it just wasn't meant to be. Ending off with the most expensive Premier League transfer in history, Enzo Fernandez from Benfica to Chelsea for 120 million. So much money, and for a second it seemed that the deal was completely off, but they saved it. The owners did not take no for an answer, and Enzo Fernandez got signed. It's nice. I think he's a decent player. I think he's a good player, but he's not worth 120 million. Do I think he's gonna do good at Chelsea? Probably, but the money that they're spending, you guys can just expect players to just rise and rise and rise in the next few years. The market value in football is looking increasingly scary. Back at Bayern now in the Bundesliga. I mean, there's a lot more, but I'm going to go with the biggest ones. For Bayern, as we discussed, Joao Cancelo. Now, we're going back to the Bundesliga here. Joao Cancelo, a lone move as a Bayern fan, just completely shocked, came out of nowhere, and he played his first game today at the time of recording against Mainz. Already recorded an assist, was just an amazing player. I'm so happy he's with us. We also got Daley Blind, who at first I didn't really see what the point of that transfer was, but we do need depth in defense now that Lucas Hernandez is out, and he's a very smart player. Maybe not the most physical player anymore because of his age, but just indeed a very, very smart player, and that's exactly the type of player that Bayern needs. That's that for pretty much the Bundesliga. There's a lot more signings, but nothing too major. There's Julian Ryerson, who joined Dortmund as well, who's actually a very underrated player, if I do say so myself. There was Isco that was very close to joining Union Berlin, which I think would have been a fantastic deal, but it didn't go through. That's one of the deals, one of the big deals that did not go through in this winter transfer window. Speaking of deals that did not go through, we're going to go to France here. And, you know, there's Hakim Ziyech, who was pretty much already confirmed to go to PSG and ended up not going because of some paper issues. Now, I'm not sure what the whole fiasco of it is, but he is not happy with Chelsea. Expect a very angry Hakim Ziyech over the next months. I'm fully sure now he's going to leave in the summer. There was also Sardar Azmoun, the Iranian striker who was linked with Olympique Marseille. Personally, I wanted him to go because he's just not doing well at Leverkusen, but did not end up going, which is okay. It's okay. We'll see what the second half of the Bundesliga has to offer for him. Hopefully he gets his form back. Not too enthusiastic for him. And then we've got other players such as Azzedine Ounahi, who he left for Olympique Marseille, scored a goal as the time of recording in his first game, his debut for Marseille. It's a fantastic player. I really do enjoy watching him. And another Moroccan that was very close of joining a club was Amrabat, who had a fantastic World Cup. He was very close of joining Barcelona, but Fiorentina just did not want to offer the player to Barcelona, so that deal was off. Those are pretty much the biggest deals. Though obviously there are some that I've missed. I'm not going to mention every single one of them. So this is the overview of most of the big players that have joined teams. Obviously there are some that I've missed. You know, I can't include every single player. I want to know what you guys think about some of these transfers that I've even talked about or even missed. If you guys want to let me know, I would very much appreciate. So leave it down in the description or on my social media, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok. All those links will be down in the description for you guys to check out once again. So like I said, let me know what you guys think about these transfers. Are some of them good, too overpriced, not worth it, or some of them are really, really good? Let me know. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to smash that subscribe button and that like button. It would mean so much to me, and I really enjoyed the support on the recent video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching and supporting me. It really does mean a lot, and I'm trying my best to provide you with some of the best footballing content. So yeah, like I said, this has been a fun video to make, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Damn, I'm on red alert. Now she went up in the dirt.